I was 26 years old when I learned the hardest lesson of my life, that blood does not always mean loyalty, and family does not always mean love. My name is Emily, and this is the story of the day my own family turned against me. Not because I did something wrong, not because I hurt anyone, but because I finally chose myself. If you have ever felt alone in a room full of people who are supposed to love you, if you have ever been punished for simply telling the truth, this story is for you. Stay with me till the end, because what happened next changed the way I understood family forever. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, in a house that looked perfect from the outside. My father worked at a local factory. My mother stayed home and managed everything. I had one older brother, Daniel, and one younger sister, Grace. From the outside, we looked like a normal, happy American family. Sunday dinners, family photos on the wall, birthday parties in the backyard. But inside that house, there was a rule nobody ever said out loud. You don't speak up. You don't disagree. You don't embarrass the family. I learned that rule the hard way over and over again, until the day I finally broke it. For 26 years, I was the good daughter. I got good grades. I never argued. I smiled in every family photo, even when I didn't feel like smiling. I thought that was what love looked like. I didn't know yet that keeping the peace and keeping yourself safe are two very different things. It started with something small. My father had been quietly struggling with money for years. Bad investments, unpaid loans, decisions he never told the rest of us about. One evening, he sat the whole family down at the dinner table and told us he needed help, financial help. Not just from himself, from all of us. He wanted my brother, my sister, and me to hand over a part of our savings to cover his debt. My brother, without hesitation, said yes. My sister, still living at home and depending on my parents, said yes too. I had spent years quietly saving money I planned to use for my own future, my own apartment, my own independence. I had worked 2 jobs through college. I had skipped vacations. I had said no to things my friends did just so I could build something for myself. I looked at my father and said the words that changed everything. I can't give you that money. I'm sorry, but I need it for my own life. The room went silent. At first, my mother tried to explain it away. She's just tired, she said. She'll come around. But I didn't come around. Because saying yes wasn't about helping my father anymore, it was about giving up years of my own sacrifice for a situation I didn't create and couldn't control. That night, my father didn't yell.
He didn't even look at me.
He simply said, I guess I know where I stand with you, and left the table. I went to bed feeling like I had done something terrible, even though deep down, I knew I hadn't. The next morning, my mother knocked on my door. I thought she came to comfort me. Instead, she said, Do you know how selfish you sound right now? That was the first time I understood in that house disagreement was not allowed. Even a calm, respectful no was treated like betrayal. Within a week, something shifted in the entire house. My brother stopped replying to my texts. My sister, who used to call me every day, suddenly went quiet. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. Then my aunt called me. I heard what you did to your father, she said. How could you turn your back on your own family? At Thanksgiving that year, my mother called and said, Maybe it's better if you don't come this year. Things are still tense. I sat alone in my small apartment on Thanksgiving night, holding a plate of food I made just for myself, wondering how 26 years of being the good daughter could disappear because of one honest conversation. The hardest part wasn't the silence from my parents. It was watching my siblings, the people I grew up sharing a bedroom with, sharing secrets with, choose comfort with our parents over standing beside me. I kept asking myself the same question. What did I actually do wrong? I didn't lie. I didn't steal. I didn't hurt anyone. I simply protected the future I had worked so hard to build. But in my family, protecting yourself was treated like a crime. For months, I tried to fix things. I called my mother. I tried to explain my side calmly. I even offered a smaller amount of money, just to ease the tension. But it was never really about the money. It was about control, about a family system where love was conditional and obedience was the price you paid to belong. The turning point came one afternoon when my sister finally called me, crying. She admitted that our father had been asking each of us, separately, for money for years, always framing it as an emergency, always making whoever said no feel guilty. She told me she was tired too, but too scared to speak up. That conversation changed something in me. I realized the problem was never really me. The problem was a pattern, a family culture where saying no was treated as betrayal, so everyone stayed quiet out of fear, instead of respect. I made a decision that day. I stopped chasing their approval. I stopped explaining myself over and over, hoping they would finally understand. I decided that peace inside myself mattered more than peace with people who only wanted my silence. Letting go didn't happen overnight. There were nights I cried, wondering if I was the one who was wrong. There were moments I almost gave in, just to feel like I belonged again. But slowly, I built a different kind of life. I leaned on friends who respected my boundaries. I started therapy, where I learned something that changed my perspective completely. Family is not defined only by blood. It is defined by respect, honesty, and safety. A year later, my sister reached out again. This time, not to convince me to apologize, but to say she understood why I made the choice I made. Slowly, a small bridge began to rebuild, not with my parents, but with her. My relationship with my parents still isn't what it used to be, and I've made peace with that. Because some relationships only survive when one person keeps shrinking themselves to fit inside them. I chose to stop shrinking. Looking back now, I understand something I wish I had known at 26. You are allowed to say no, even to family. You are allowed to protect your future, even if it disappoints someone else's expectations. And sometimes, the people who turn against you when you set a boundary are showing you exactly how conditional their love always was. The day my family turned against me wasn't the day I lost them. It was the day I finally found myself. So here's what this story really teaches us. Real love doesn't punish you for protecting yourself. Real family doesn't make you choose between their comfort and your future. If you're going through something similar right now, feeling isolated for simply standing up for yourself, remember this. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe for more real-life stories like this one and let me know in the comments. Would you have made the same choice? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.